Good afternoon, East Alabama and West Georgia. Dr. Don back in here with you with an update. We have a brand new severe thunderstorm watch that has been issued by the National Weather Service. And I'll tell you, the tornado watch has now expired for our East Alabama counties, and it has been replaced with a new severe thunderstorm watch that's in effect until about 6 p.m. This evening. In East Alabama, that watch covers Lee County, Alabama, and Elmore County. And the southern tip of Tallapoosa County, though we have to go by county boundaries. I would say Tallahassee would be in that watch as well. And then points to the south. So basically along the I-85 corridor and south is where the new watch has been posted this afternoon. So that means that if you live in places like Auburn, Opelika, Columbus, Phoenix City, Tuskegee, Wetumpka, Montgomery, Prattville, Selma, down further south, places like Greenville, Troy, Union Springs, Eufaula, Dothan, Enterprise, Andalusia, Monroeville, and then over in southwest Alabama, Thomasville and Jackson, you are covered by this new severe thunderstorm watch. And I'll zoom out even further so you can kind of see where this watch box is. Notice that the tornado watch that was in effect for these areas and up to the north has since expired. That happened at 12 noon Central, 1 o'clock Eastern. So that's good news for the areas that have been receiving storm after storm after storm. We still have some very heavy rainfall there in northwest Troup County. And that kind of expands north of LaGrange up into northwest Troup on up into southern Heard County. And that storm will continue moving off to the northeast. We have one area of heavy rain now just south of Malone down to about Corinth up in Randolph County. And then we have some light rain over Wedowee, and then one little bitty spot of heavy rain there to the south and southeast of Delta in Clay County. But other than that, things are clearing up across East Alabama, and that'll give us a chance to dry out a bit. And then we're going to watch what happens down there in South Alabama for the remainder of the afternoon into the overnight. Now, I'm not giving you the all clear just because you're not under a watch or warning, but what I am telling you is things appear to be calming down now for most of our East Alabama and West Georgia counties. But then as we get into the afternoon, overnight hours, we could see things fire back up, and we're going to have to watch for the possibility of more severe weather as we head toward the afternoon and during the overnight areas for East Alabama and West Georgia. Tornado cleanup continues here in West Point, Georgia, just north of downtown West Point. We're talking about in this general area. In the area of the Bethel Baptist Church, West Point Motel. This area was hit hard this morning by a tornado that caused significant damage there just north of West Point. It continued across I-85 and then continued on over toward Pine Mountain, Georgia. We have significant damage reported in those areas as well. We understand that cell phone service is somewhat limited in this area. We have seen photographs of a cell phone tower. We're not sure exactly where it is, and we don't know which carrier it is, though there are reports out there that it's a Verizon tower that has been completely destroyed somewhere, I would guess, down here in southern or southwestern Troup County from that tornado this morning. That tornado continued on off to the east. It caused a good bit of damage over in Milledgeville, Georgia as well. So a lot of tornado damage and cleanup underway now in southern Troup County over into Meriwether County and then to points on off to the east as well from that storm. So what I want to do while we're talking about the West Point tornado, I'm going to take the screen here, and I want to play this video for you again. This video came in to us this morning.
Okay, so first time I went live, it actually worked. So I'll try to take a walk. You see the power lines across the road. I'm walking downtown, West Point Road. Everybody local, I'm sure, knows where I'm at. Good Lord. Strange thing about it is, we had the bad hail. I just didn't. All right, sorry, I don't know. This thing's working right or not. We ain't got no service up here. We ain't got no power. I'm looking at it. Probably won't have no power for a while. Everybody in West Point, you calling the Verse Power, it's no sense calling them. They've got their hands full. It doesn't appear it was a wide one. A couple 100 yards wide, maybe. Coming out of the west, going to the east side toward 85, and well, my friend said 85 was shut down, so I imagine went across there. I'm hearing people talking about their houses are just completely gone. I'm trying my best. Surprised nobody stopped me from walking yet. I hate seeing this for people. That's that shop. That's right there beside West Point Motel. I'm looking back toward the motel now. Okay, the church is demolished. Halfway caved in. House next to it's completely gone. All right, there's the church right there. I hope y'all are getting this.
But J-Dub and Tiffany are supposed to be going to her.
Like I said, I'm not going to try to talk too much. I'll just show everybody what's going on. I'm walking down, right in the middle of West Point Road.
Well, I tell you, those those images are hard to watch this morning. A lot of folks hurting this morning in West Point, Georgia. Um, all right, sorry about that. Yeah, so recovering from tornado damage this morning in West Point, Georgia. A lot of damage down there. I've also seen images of Milledgeville, Georgia. Understand that there was a hospital that was damaged in Milledgeville. So a lot of damage over there as well. And the church that we were showing you there on the screen, and I can't confirm any of this, but there was one interview on the Weather Channel about 30 or 40 minutes ago. And they were talking to the pastor of a church in that area. And they were talking about, the reporter asked them, about them evacuating to the church and using it as a shelter. And he said, no, ma'am. We were having early service when the storm hit, and there were people in the church. And I've got to say this, and I may get in trouble for it, but I've got to. Folks, you got to have situational awareness of what's going on around you. I really hope there were no injuries in that church, but here's the bottom line. No one should have been in that church. Sanctuaries, large open span areas, auditoriums, gymnasiums are no place to be during severe weather. This line of thunderstorms had been marching across Alabama for hours prior to moving into West Point, Georgia. There's absolutely no reason why anyone who attends that church should not have known this storm was coming. I mean, you have to know what's going on around you. And with modern technology the way it is today, there's absolutely no reason not to know, other than you have to take a little personal responsibility and put yourself out there so you can understand what is going on around you. I get so frustrated when I see things like this happen because it doesn't have to. No, you can't stop the tornado, but you can protect yourself by making sure you're in the safest place you possibly could be in when those type situations happen. And a church facility is not that place. The center of your home on the lowest floor is where you need to be. You don't need to be out there on the road driving to get to church or any other location during severe weather. If you know the storm's coming, if you know it's going to hit the area you're going to, you need to turn around and go back home. You don't need to be there and put yourself in danger. Severe weather is survivable, but you got to know what's going on around you. You have to prepare yourself, take care of yourself and your family, and don't put yourself in those risks, in that kind of risk during severe weather events. It's avoidable in a lot of cases if you simply have situational awareness and you understand what's going on around you. So, okay, sorry, I had to get on my soapbox there for just a few minutes. But yeah, no. You should never open a church sanctuary for shelter during a storm. That is the absolute worst thing you could possibly do. Now, after the storm passes and you need somewhere to shelter people, that's a different story. But not before a storm and not during a storm, not in a sanctuary. And if you have, a classroom building, maybe a family life center that is very well built, that has interior rooms or hallways or maybe even a basement, that's perfectly fine, but not sanctuaries. How many times have we seen this happen, especially in the month of March and April in Alabama and Georgia, where churches get hit by severe weather? They crumble. It's just simply because of the way the structures are built. It's not safe. It's not a good idea. And so just, you folks remember this. Be situational aware. Make sure you have apps on your phone. Make sure you own a NOAA weather radio. Make sure you go over to YouTube and subscribe to our weather channel so that you get proper notification when we go live for severe weather. There are just a few things you can do that don't cost you any money that could help save your life if you know what's going on around you. We had a severe thunderstorm warning in Chambers County, in the hour leading up to this event in West Point. So if you were situationally aware, you had to know the storm was in Chambers County. You had to know the storm was moving in your general direction. And then when it got right on top of West Point, it developed a tornado. A tornado warning was issued. And then unfortunately, we saw the destruction take place. But understand, anytime there is a thunderstorm in the south in the springtime, there's always that possibility that a tornado could form from that storm. So that's why I always say, you hear me say this often, you treat thunderstorms just like they're tornadoes, because they can go tornadic with very little warning. And that's exactly what happened this morning there in West Point, unfortunately. A lot of destruction. I did hear of injuries earlier. I haven't seen any reports that indicate that those injuries are significant, and I hope that holds true throughout this event as they continue to search through the rubble there, just north of West Point, Georgia. So again, the good news here, the storms seem to be subsiding across East Alabama and West Georgia at the moment. We have a new severe thunderstorm watch box that's been issued by the Storm Prediction Center, and that's going to cover central and southern Alabama. The tornado watch that was in effect for portions of East Alabama and West Georgia has been allowed to expire. That happened at 12 noon Central. And right now we really only have one rather large thunderstorm that's near Equality, Alabama, about to move into southwestern Tallapoosa County near our town or near Kalijah on the southern end of Lake Martin. That's going to rotate over Dadeville. How many times have we seen that happen already this morning? Hunker down, Dadeville. You got another one coming. It's not severe, but again, folks, it's a thunderstorm. It could go severe at any moment. Then we have a smaller cell over in Chambers County, just northeast of Lafayette. We've called your county many times this morning. Then we have a larger thunderstorm from Hogansville back to just northwest of LaGrange. That's moving off to the northeast. And then we have that one little small pocket there just north of Roanoke up to Potash Ridge that's moving off to the northeast also. But again, that is not severe at this hour as well. So that is where we stand at this hour. This is a long duration event. This is going to continue through the rest of the day into tonight, and it'll probably be sometime after sunrise tomorrow morning before we can give you the all clear across East Alabama and West Georgia. Is it going to storm the entire time? No, it's not. But we could have severe storms develop at pretty much any time between now and tomorrow morning. We're watching it for you very closely here at Dr. Don's Weather, and we'll continue to update you as we get weather information from the Storm Prediction Center and the National Weather Service. I want to show you a couple of graphics before we get out of here. Here's the latest from the National Weather Service. Be sure you head over to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe, and hit that little bell so that you'll get that notification. Very important, folks. Facebook algorithm is a little bit different, so you don't always get timely notifications when we go live on Facebook. Fine if you watch us on Facebook, but to be on the safe side, to make sure you get notified, the best idea is to go to YouTube, subscribe to our channel, it's free, and click that little bell so that when we do go live to cover severe weather, you'll get an instant notification from YouTube. You can watch us on Facebook if you prefer that, but you need to set that notification up over on YouTube so you can be guaranteed to get that notification. So here's the graphic showing that enhanced risk across West, Central, and East Alabama. And this graphic is going to be updated. Let me just double check and see. We may already have that updated graphic out there. Let me check the Weather Service website right quick. Because if we do, I want to show that to you. Yes. Give me just a second to update that. Okay, there's the updated graphic. And so this is what we're looking at. Basically, north of the I-20 corridor, we're not anticipating any severe weather this afternoon. South of the I-20 corridor between 6 p.m. tonight and 3 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then down along the I-85 corridor, 4 o'clock this afternoon through 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then across South Alabama, it could happen anytime between now and 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So you see that we have a moderate risk category now that covers places like Demopolis, Selma, and Montgomery. And then we have an enhanced risk area for places north of Demopolis over to around Clanton. That would include Prattville. Then we have Alexander City is going to be in that enhanced risk. You're right there on the line. Auburn, Opelika, you're in the enhanced risk. And then up there from about Lafayette north up into Randolph County for Roanoke, Wedowee, Woodland, back over to Ashland, Lineville, Talladega, Sylacauga, you're in the slight risk category area. So basically anywhere from Birmingham all the way to Mobile, and from the Alabama-Mississippi state line to well into West Georgia, there is a risk for severe weather this afternoon during the overnight into tomorrow morning. So I want you to know that and know that we're watching it for you, and we will continue with our coverage as conditions warrant. we are going to remind you. We are going to remind you that we depend on your support. So you see a couple of links posting there in the chat room. One of them is to support us. So if you have the means and you can, then we humbly ask that you consider doing that. There's a good bit of cost involved in what we do. So we ask that you support us if you can. And we invite you and suggest that you should head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe so that when we come back our next time, we'll be able to give you, you'll be able to get that push notification. You'll know that we are on live. So I'm just going to scroll up through comments right quick and see if there's anything I need to address. The sun is shining in a lot of locations across East Alabama and West Georgia now, and that is going to help destabilize the atmosphere, which could increase our chance for severe weather later on this afternoon. Gina is asking about the hotel that was damaged. I'm assuming she's talking about the West Point Hotel there on West Point Road, just north of downtown West Point. That's where the damage is located. I don't have any information on injuries. All I can tell you is that when all this started, we were getting reports of injuries. I have no idea how many or what the or how severe those injuries are. But I did hear about injuries when all this started earlier. Good afternoon, Albany, Georgia. You best believe I'll be watching out for Albany as we go throughout the afternoon. I have some interest down there. Traveling to Jacksonville from Opelika, you're good. You're okay. You're okay to do that travel now. You're going to run through. Coming up through Chambers County, you're going to run through some showers up there around Lafayette, maybe a little north of Lafayette, but it's not severe. It's going to be rainy, but you're okay to travel across East Alabama at this time. Tanner Palmer's watching us down there in Bermuda, Alabama. Down in the Triangle. All right, so there's the deal, folks. Again, we're going to be watching that area south of Montgomery for the best chance of severe weather this afternoon. And Tanner, I'll tell you that Monroeville is going to be down there in that area that'll be most ripe for severe weather as well. So an afternoon where you're going to definitely want to stay weather aware in southwest Alabama, South Alabama, central Alabama, all the way up to Montgomery. Even up into the Prattville area. And I think later on this afternoon and during the overnight, that severe risk may creep a little bit further north too, maybe all the way up to the I-20 corridor as we head toward the late afternoon hours this afternoon. But for now, just an occasional passing shower or thunder shower is certainly possible across East Alabama and West Georgia. Cleanup efforts continue over in West Point from the tornado this morning. Lots of damage over there. Ask for all of you to keep Southern Troup County and Meriwether County, Georgia, Northern Harris County in your thoughts and prayers as we go throughout the day. And whatever you do, don't go over there to try to look at the damage that's taken place. There are plenty of photographs and videos being posted online. Give the rescuers, rescue personnel, and the utilities time to get over there and try to make that area safe. West Point Road's blocked off. They're not going to let you in there anyway. And give them time to finish the search and rescue efforts. And then I'm sure there will be all kinds of information posted as to how you can help that area in the coming days recover from the devastating weather that we had over there this morning. All right, so that's going to wrap it up for this update. Again, we're going to keep an eye on all of this for you as we go throughout the remainder of the afternoon. If conditions warrant, we will come back and continue with live coverage here on Dr. Don's Weather as necessary. Let me just switch back to Birmingham right quick. I didn't realize I was on Atlanta. So this will give you a better look at what's happening in South Alabama right now. That big heavy storm there just south of Selma, one south of Thomasville, one just west of Thomasville. And then we see some big storms blowing up down there around just south of Monroeville, just north of Bruton, over toward Andalusia, just north of Greenville. So you can see that the radar is beginning to light up down there in southwest Alabama. All of that will be moving east, northeast, up into central Alabama. Big thunderstorm there just south of Alexander City, moving up out of Elmore County. That's going to cross over 280 between Jackson Gap and Dadeville, just north of Kalijah. Another storm there around Eclectic. So the storms are moving toward Chambers County yet once again. Flash flood watch also is in effect for all of East Alabama and West Georgia. I'm already seeing some locations have received over 5 inches of rain. And I would probably be willing to bet that East Chambers County and central Chambers County has probably received right at 5 inches of rain already. And here comes yet another strong thunderstorm that's going to dump more rain on Chambers County. So some of those more rural roads, watch out for washed out culverts. The creeks could certainly start flooding in the area. Flash flooding will be a problem this afternoon across East Alabama and West Georgia. Stay with us. Our coverage will continue on Dr. Don's Weather as conditions warrant. We'll be right back with you. And thank you for joining us.